Think I just fell in love with a porn star. Turn the camera on, she a born star. Turn the coroners in a foreign car. Call the coroners through the CPR. She gave that old nigga Osa. Bittersweet taste made his gold teeth ache. Make a knee shake, make a priest faint. Make a nun come, make a cremate. Move downtown, cop a sweet space. Living life like we want a sweet steaks. What? We headed to hell for heaven's sakes, huh? Well, I'ma levitate, make the devil wait, yeah. Have you lost your mind? Tell me when you think we crossed the line. No more drugs for me. Pussy and religion is all I need. Grab my hand and baby, we'll live a hell of a life. Never in your wildest dreams, never in your wildest dreams, in your
buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work.
Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today, I guess we're going to react to Nick Fuentes doing an interview with Greenwald. Believe it or not. But first, I'm going to play this because I feel like it.
Palestine's been occupied for decades, but a home for centuries.
Why Eminem, bro? Why are you doing this?
Of my family's memories to plant, grow, and nurture the symbol of peace. The olive trees guaranteed that our people could eat. Living with limitations, pushed down by the occupation. Want to see the pain?
God dang buttheads.
Imagine being kicked out of the only house you ever known. We're praying for our souls while they're praying on our homes. It's not easy to put this into words. Looking at my baby sister, is this something she deserves? Growing up in a world where she's not treated the same, denied the right to live free because of where she came. They wanna occupy this land, won't let them occupy my mind. I stay occupied aside as I write about my life, because my only mission is to make people listen. This one's for Shashara, hoping it can make a difference. Cause the same thing happened in 48. My grandparents got evicted and forced to move away to the refugee camp in Gaza. No, nothing has changed. They can never return, so that's where I am today. Getting calls from cousins to see if I am alive. This year is not fireworks that are lighting the sky. We're trying to celebrate an Eid and keep the faith. I guess you could say it's how memories are made. Palestine.
Okay. From MC Abdul. That's from, what was it, 4 years ago? Yeah, 4 years ago. Okay. Listen, when it comes to music, I hate politics in my music. Unless it's done, like, very clever. If it's clever, I like it. But this is just a kid, just, wrote something out, he rapped it. Credit to him. Although I'm not a big Eminem fan. I'm not a big Eminem fan at all. But you know what? Steal this fucking beat from Eminem and do something with it. I accept that. As usual, before we get started, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. All of it is very much appreciated. Also, please check out the Discord link. I'm in that Discord right now. I might be doing like a Halloween thing. I don't know exactly. Maybe it's a month long as far as like every day on this Discord I play like a horror movie, but typically the people that know me from my other Discord and prior to all this stuff, we do like Halloween things because I love Halloween. I love the season of it. I love horror movies as far as the Halloween season goes. So, yeah, that's going to be done in this Discord. If you want to join, please go ahead. Also, please, the sources for the video will be in that description box. The music video we just saw and this video itself, Nick Fuentes being interviewed by Greenwald. Please do it. Check out the description box. All right. I have no idea what's going to be said here, other than this, I guess. Nick Fuentes on who will lead TPUSA after Charlie Kirk's assassination. I've not seen a fucking second of this, so let's dive in. Here we go. Nick Fuentes, Glenn Greenwald, system update. God. Here we go. Oh my God, Glenn. A gay dude from South America.
One of the things that I find such an eye-opening kind of mass-dropping moment is what happened with TikTok. And I saw you mention this too. I've been covering this from the start. I knew this was going to happen. A lot, when the ban on TikTok was first announced, the rationale was we can't have the Chinese controlling the algorithm that shapes the views of young Americans. And that went nowhere in Washington. That was 2020. It didn't get anywhere near the approval it needed in Congress. The Biden administration abandoned it. Nobody cared. It was only after October 7th when Democratic members of Congress became convinced that it was because of TikTok that the young generation was turning against Israel, did they suddenly decide, oh my God, we have to do something about TikTok. And the ADL came out and said, we must ban this or we must capture it. And the ADL even went to Israel, Jonathan Greenblatt, and said, capturing TikTok is at least as important as capturing the land dominated by Hezbollah and Hamas. And then, of course, a month later, Congress does ban TikTok on those orders. And then suddenly, after 9 months, Trump finds a way to sell it, not just to Trump allies, but to the largest single donor to the IDF, which is Larry Ellison, whose only cause in life is Israel. And so it seems clear to me that you don't need much conspiratorial thinking to see that each one of these issues is ultimately driven by that same topic, despite the effort to say, oh, you're obsessed with Israel. When I see members of Congress going every week to Israel and passing resolutions every week for Israel and giving all American money to Israel and fighting wars for Israel and giving TikTok to Israeli interests, I don't think it's me who's obsessed with Israel. I think it's the people in power. And along those lines, I wanted to ask you about Turning Point, which is obviously a very well-funded and now more powerful than ever organization in American politics, especially among American youth, given the martyrdom of Charlie Kirk and everything else. And it is obviously now a question of who's going to run Turning Point. And, if you go back a month ago before Charlie Kirk was killed, you saw a lot of these Israel fanatics like Laura Loomer. I'm not sure if Ben Shapiro said anything, but his crowd, a lot of them were, trying to eject Charlie Kirk from good standing because he had a debate on Israel with Dave Smith, and then he invited Tucker to speak, knowing Tucker was going to bash Israel, and Tucker spent half his speech talking about Epstein as a Mossad agent and how the government is trying to cover that up. And people were infuriated with him and felt like Turning Point was in danger for the agenda for which it was set up, which is to serve Israel. And now you see Ben Shapiro suddenly appearing on the Charlie Kirk show and announcing millions of dollars in donation to Turning Point. As you pointed out, Erica Kirk, despite knowing not much about her, is assuming this leadership role. And the kind of question is, who is she and what are her influences? What do you see as going on now with the attempt to, now that Charlie Kirk is in running Turning Point, to make sure that Turning Point stays in the hands of a very reliable person or group of people who are loyal to the Israel agenda that its funders demand?
That was a lot. That was a lot, Glenn. I guess one thing, the idea that TPUSA was created for the sake of protecting Israel, I don't know about that, man. It seems like it's more so, like the cringy right wing. Some people call them rhinos, I guess. Republican only in name, in name only. I mean, it seems more like that than strictly about Israel. There's too many moving parts. There's too many geopolitical implications and also domestic implications of all this stuff. So what they do and what they bit in the past before Charlie got killed, it was pretty obvious to me. It's to help out, help fake Christians get their ideas into the world. And Charlie was with it. But all right, whatever. Either way, let's hear Nick's answer to this question about TPUSA. Here we go.
Well, they're already swarming. Like you said, I mean, Bill Ackman came in right away after Charlie died with $1 million as a reward for information about the killer. Sean McGuire from Sequoia came in and said Charlie Kirk's family is set for life. Andrew Colvett, who is this PR guy at Turning Point, he's sort of been the spokesman. He was the producer on the show. He's got a very interesting background. He comes from this PR company, and he was working with Marissa Straight, who's the Unit 8200 officer that's running Prager University. So clearly there is. Everybody recognizes that a power vacuum has just opened up. Charlie Kirk, as we said earlier, is this towering figure. And now that he's gone, there is this huge black hole in the center of Turning Point. And so question one.
Okay, see, that's something I'm going to, like, disagree with, like, instantly. Not because, like, well, I'm not saying I know the answer. It's just, like, Charlie Kirk was this such a lead figure and powerful guy that when he goes away, there's a power vacuum for this thing. And I'm like, I'm not so sure that's the case. Like, Charlie, like, moved like a fucking tool, not like a boss. He moved like a tool, dude, in my humble opinion. So, yeah, it feels like he's easily replaceable. Like, hey guy, get on stage and say these words. Hey man, here's your binder. Remember Steven Crowder and the Change My Mind shit? Where he had a binder of arguments, like, pre-made before he even interacts with anyone? That's what Charlie Kirk reminded me of. So it's hard for me to look at him as some sort of, like, towering figure that creates a power vacuum if he goes away. I don't think so. I think the scramble would be about, like, okay, who's going to be the face of this money-making machine? Not that they're good quality-wise, but they make money. That's for sure. They definitely make money. They get donations. They get, like, almost like college shit. Like, they get, like, boosters, whatever the fuck, right? They make money, for sure. Who's going to be the face that we put on screen for all of this? That's the real scramble. Not actually the fucking systemic quota of TPUSA. That's already taken care of. They know what they're doing. They know which direction they're going in. They want, like, a marketable face to take over, most likely. I mean, if Nick played his cards right, he'd be that, wouldn't he? Also, I want to say this. Nick Fuentes, shout out to you with the Halloween. I swear to, I love Halloween. Christmas is number one to me, but I love Halloween too. It's such a cool holiday, and Nick is actually leaning into the festivities, whatever you want to call it. He's leaning into it. So you know what? Thumbs up for that. Although, get a real fucking pumpkin. Fuck this plastic shit, bro. Anyways, here we go.
One is, who's in charge? Erica Kirk. And, you know, who is she? We don't know. Is she going to be a force in and of herself? And what are her values and what's her alignment? Or will
I'd
she
let her power slam me.
kind of be somebody who's going to be directed by the board?
Sorry.
And then who's going to be the board? Who's going to be the money behind Turning Point? One interesting thing is they talked about this Jewish donor, one of their bigger donors who gave them $2 million, rescinded the donation. And then when Charlie died, sent the donation back in. You wonder, were assurances made? Is there sort of some renewed confidence? Maybe that was out of some sort of sympathy for the organization. But to me, it's a big question mark. But I think, of course, these forces are going to race in. And I mentioned a moment ago, Josh Hammer talked with Mark Levin the other day on the show about this. And Josh Hammer and Mark Levin have emerged as some of the loudest and most vocal pro-Israel voices, both Jewish, both super Zionist. Josh Hammer was tight.
Yeah, Charlie hosted a debate between Josh Hammer and Dave Smith, and let's be honest, Charlie would cut Dave off or stop him in his tracks, or if there's a question that Dave is asking that there's no answer for from Josh Hammer, don't worry, Charlie can clean this up for you. Don't worry about that. I'm just saying. He definitely favored Josh Hammer in the way he moderated, in my humble opinion. But here we go.
with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk told him on a phone call, apparently the week that he died, that if anybody asks about Israel, he's just going to show Josh Hammer's book. And so these are the kinds of people that are going to race in, and I think quite successfully, to try to then gatekeep that conversation. The question then, I suppose, is what role will Tucker play in the future? He's already lined up to have an event at Indiana, one of those campuses, in the coming months as part of the tour. But I think that is going to remain a battle just like it was 3 weeks ago. You know, I think that battle is going to keep being fought. So I think it's a question mark, but the Zionists are definitely going to have an opportunity here to come in and, you know, I think erase any doubt as to the alignment of Turning Point with Israel.
Well,
yeah, Turning Point left no doubt about when Charlie's alive, when he's dead. There was no doubt about what the fuck they're doing over there. And yeah, in my opinion, scramble for faces for your marketing thing, right? Gather a face to show up on screen and be like a talking person. For a year, they might do this thing that they're doing right now, where you see, like, you know, Michael Knowles one night, then Megyn Kelly, then Tucker Carlson another night, right? They're doing that for now, but at some point, there will be a face, if I had to guess, personally. But here we go.
Last question for you. It's kind of ironic that right before we had you on the show, right before you were scheduled, this kind of very, I wouldn't say super pervasive, but not trivial either, accusations started being launched against you that you seem to have become captive to the state of Israel and its interests by virtue of the rejection that you've expressed of the view that Israel was behind Charlie Kirk's killing. Like, oh, look, Nick Fuentes is now running cover for Israel. He's clearly part of the Mossad. And I know that you talked about how frustrating that was. You just don't see the evidence for this conspiracy, and you're saying,
Glenn, why are we dealing with the dumbest fucking ideas out there? Granted, I'm sure there's a whole video where they show more of this, show more, like, other conversation, but, like, why is that even a fucking topic? Whatever. Okay, fair enough. You know what? Fair enough, because people are saying that. So thus, worthy question. Fine. Fair enough. But this better not be, like, one of the most like I guess on point questions, if you will. It better not be, because that'd be horrendous to me. Plenty of things to ask Nick Fuentes. This is, to me, like, in the back burner. But here we go. Whatever.
Either accusations started being launched against you that you seem to have become captive to the state of Israel and its interests by virtue of the rejection that you've expressed of the view that Israel was behind Charlie Kirk's killing. Like, oh, look, Nick Fuentes is now running cover for Israel. He's clearly part of the Mossad. And I know that you talked about how frustrating that was. You just don't see the evidence for this conspiracy, and you're saying that. And yet, on the other hand, people are so quick to say, oh, look, Israel must have some role in these machinations. And you talked about almost like a sort of pride that you felt, kind of a happiness in seeing that the discourse has gone so far that if you don't immediately assert Israel is behind something, it creates a lot of suspicion on the part of huge numbers of people. And that clearly is a massive sea change. You see that sea change, too, in poll after poll after poll, where young people have completely abandoned Israel. And it's clear that, and this happens in every instance where an establishment faction or a power center feels threatened, they start getting increasingly desperate. What do you think is the likelihood, given that this has now all been so unleashed, unleashed in a way that just seems to build on itself, that Israel and its loyalists, with all their institutional power and all their money and all their willingness to go so far without limits, will be able to stem the tide and reverse the tide and make Americans, especially younger Americans, get on board again with the pro-Israel train?
I think they have recognized that they've lost the public, and I think they recognize they're not going to get the public back the way that it used to be. I think they recognize, especially on the right wing, that nobody's going to go back to cheerleading the way that they used to be, at least for the most part. So I think their strategy is something like complacency and indifference, and I've noticed that on the right wing. What you see, for example, with somebody like Matt Walsh, in his interview with Tucker Carlson, he says, well, listen, I'm an American, so I don't really care that much about Palestine and Israel. Don't talk to me about that. I don't know anything about that. I only care about America. And to me, that is such like a deliberate, they're trying to come across as indifferent to Israel. They're trying to come across, people say this line on Twitter, they say, just let them kill each other. Who cares? Just let Israel and Palestine kill each other. And by all appearances, that looks like sort of a happy medium where you're not super pro-Israel, you're not a psycho anti-Israel, you're just really focused on America. But that belies the truth that, of course, the institutions, there's a major war being waged. Bari Weiss is going to be running CBS. Harvard now has a Jewish president. Like the war, they're in it to win it. They're taking hits, but they're still pushing and they're still moving up the battlefield here. And when people say things like, well, we just need to ignore that, they're basically telling Americans to recuse themselves from that conversation and saying we're only going to let the pro-Israel side fight these battles and advocate for their cause. And Americans are just going to kind of say, that doesn't matter. During the Iran war, Charlie Kirk himself said, everybody just turn your phones off. The world is so crazy. Everybody just pretend this isn't happening. I saw other people say, realistically, I think Oran McIntyre in his show with Tucker said, we really need to just focus on parochial or on pretend this isn't happening. I saw other people say, realistically, I think Oran McIntyre in his show with Tucker said, we really need to just focus on parochial concerns like the school board and things that actually affect our real lives. We don't need to concern ourselves with politics. And so if you're really being perceptive about this, the message they know they've lost the left, although maybe they're trying to recapture people like Bari Weiss. But on the right, their message that they're pushing is this very calculated indifferentist position to just sort of say, let Israel handle everything. Let the Jewish Silicon Valley types, let them be the technocrats. They can supply the drones and the satellites and the AI and all this. You just don't concern yourselves with that. You concern yourselves with this parochial stuff and culture war issues. And that's where it's our job to agitate and say, this matters to you. You have a say in how your government operates. This is the American empire. We're citizens of it. We should wield it and control it. We should take an interest in it. So to me, that's sort of the next phase. That's going to be the toughest battle. It's not people saying you need to be a cheerleader for Israel. It's people telling you, who cares about Israel? You're the crazy one. Like you talked about that gaslighting, saying we're obsessed with Israel. We need to push back and say, no, it is our concern. It's our empire. It's our country. And actually, it does matter for our daily lives. That, to me, that's the next step in the battle.
Yeah, and it's so deceitful.
Interesting, because that is a thing for sure, especially like going like to the Matt Walsh point he said, like the way he like, what, who cares, whatever, Israel does whatever Israel does, and whatever. And it's like, do you know what's going on, Matt Walsh? Do you have any fucking clue on what's going on? Of course not. Well, he might know, but also be like just a liar, thus to get you to fall asleep. But his nonchalant fucking attitude or behaviors towards it could make his audience fall asleep. Oh, there's nothing here. Nothing happening here. Nothing important. So, yes, with that idea. As far as the other ideas, no, part of me thinks this is why I get mad at Dave Smith. Although, Dave Smith fans won't actually hear me out. They'll just dismiss me as, you're a Dave hater. But when I bring up the idea, when these people argue like finances first, look how much money we're giving them. That's actually numbing you to the idea of like the actual human tragedy that's actually happening over there. It numbs people to that shit, possibly. And people, I don't know, I can't stand the whole money argument. All right?
I don't think you get it though. That's why. Like our money is our
I do get it. That's the point. I do get it.
It's our energy that's being given to the cause.
Yeah, but Dubster, if you make money off of it, what now? Let's say
And you're siphoning energy off of it.
let's say Americans make money off of what's happening in Gaza or the West
Then they're
Bank or
siphoning
anywhere.
off of it.
Yeah, but it kills that argument about money then, right? Or no?
No, just translate the money into energy, in the sense of
Let's say
if
you're
we're paying
gaining
for it-
energy from it then. Now
Yeah.
what? Is it okay
then
now?
think of it like a vampire.
No. Is it okay now if you make money from it? Is it okay?
No,
Why not? Why not?
because it's morally wrong. Which is
Oh,
part
okay,
of-
okay. Then we're on the same page. Got it. It's morally wrong. That's why
Yeah,
it's
but-
wrong.
but
We don't
the
like it because
siphoning
it's
energy
morally fucked up.
Hold on.
Go
Have
ahead.
you not heard the idea that like every war is like a banker's war because it's about energy
You're
as
okay.
in the money?
It depends on Once again, if you believe in like trickle down economics, guess what? You are winning from this stuff, right? Because you give Israel money to buy up our weapons that will trickle down into our economy, right? It'll create jobs and all the fucking taglines and talking points, right? But I'm saying like it's morally fucked up what's happening over there. And I think the idea of like using money as your argument will lull people to fucking sleep. That's my opinion
Well,
on that.
then you have to look at the other side. The Palestinians are living like commies. They have nothing, and they wait for rations, and then they get shot when they get rations.
Are you fucking
So,
trolling me?
there's your-
What are you saying? Try again. Try again. Go ahead. Try again.
If you're going to claim our side is strictly trickle down, then their side, as in
I'm
the
not
victims
saying
of
that.
this,
I'm not saying that. I'm
are
saying like people
are
believe that.
operating under communism.
I'm saying there's people that believe that if you give
Well, I'm just giving
a
another point of view.
stimulus to Walmart, right? It'll trickle down to the employees, right? So thus, when Israel spends money on our weapons, it'll trickle down to us, right? Or whoever, regular people, right? It'll create jobs and it'll trickle down, right? That's the idea. And it's just
Yeah, but I'm saying the other side is going under the opposed opposite, which is killing them faster. If you want to look at the economic point of views of things,
okay.
why it matters to war. Like, once you start rationing, it means you're ready to send your people into death in some sort of way.
Okay.
Maybe it's
enough.
necessary to start rationing, but it means death is on the around the corner or on the rise. How you want ever you want to look at it.
Well, I personally don't think that our funding and money giving to Israel and weapons giving to Israel is not tanking our economy right now. I think if we were in like
It's not doing good.
if we were in Happy Land, that thing wouldn't make like too much of a dent, I think. But we're doing it anyways, right? Regardless, we'll do it anyways. So thus, you end up in the moral quandary of like, this is not right what they're doing, and we're the ones like helping it happen. That's the kind of a main problem, right? No, whatever.
It doesn't help us. It doesn't help us in any way.
Well, you could think about it that way if you want to. I'd call you a little devil worshiper, but you can do your thing if you think that way. Like, hey, man, this ain't helping me. You can think
Well, I'm
about
saying,
you can
like-
think about it that way if you want to, but me personally, I'm like, that's kind of cunty and cringy. But you do your thing.
Well,
like, whoever.
I'm looking
Like,
at
God.
self like my potential to survive and my self to prosper is being undercut by the diluting of the currency. meaning everything I buy is higher prices than it should be, because a contributing factor is we're giving so much money to Israel and Ukraine, all these wars.
I think you should not argue this, Dubster, because you're making a bad representation of of these guys that are making economic arguments about why we should or shouldn't be supporting Israel. I think you're doing a bad representation of that.
Well, if they want to
This
go,
is me being nice, by the way. I'm being very nice right now. But go ahead.
they want to go with economic arguments. Think about
I think it's
simply
lazy. But go ahead.
your self-determination is being fucked with these wars as an American.
And if someone else has self-determination problems, that's also a problem for you too, right? That makes it possible now in the world, right? Empathy-wise, right? Right? If your
Sure,
if your
sure,
neighbor,
but I'm not worried about empathy. I'm just talking about me alone. These wars are fucking me up.
but
Economically.
okay, that could happen, but like the potential of that happening, let's say it doesn't happen yet. You see the potential for it in other places where it's like, oh fuck, they're doing that. If that was me, I'd be fucked over. So maybe I don't want that to happen because it could happen to me one day. Even if you're just like full scale, full anti-Christian, devil worshipping, selfish mentality about it. It's happening over there.
It's
It could,
not
it
devil
could happen
worship
over
to be
here.
selfish.
Fuck. It is, but you know, do your thing. Don't worry, you won't be judged on this, Jeff. Dubster, don't worry. No one will judge you for this.
Saving money to build your own home, then build your own
Yeah,
business.
put it in that context.
Take care of your own family.
Yeah, take it out of the context we were just talking about and move it somewhere else. Please go ahead. Keep going. Go ahead. All you men.
How's that selfish?
No, all you men.
How's that selfish?
Take it out of the context we were just talking about and move it somewhere else. Go ahead. Do it. Do your thing. Go ahead. Tell the audience. Tell the audience that.
Self-determination is making your life better.
Okay. In this scenario or a different one?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, in this one? Okay, got it. Understood.
To deny
Let's move on.
The reality
Let's
of the economics
let's fucking
of
move
a
on.
war.
Let's move on. You've talked enough.
Okay.
Let's move on.
You tapped out.
Yeah, you won the argument. Gotcha. Anyways.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Matt Walsh's attempt at like almost like prescribed apathy is what this guy's doing, in my opinion. Where it's like, oh well, it's not America, so who cares? Meanwhile, the actual intricate, nuanced idea of the thing is like America is intricately involved in all of this, very much so. And I actually think, once again, I'll repeat it again. Sorry, Dubster, I'll say it again. I think the financial argument in regards to this is actually separating you from like the actual human cost, which I think they would care about. Right? If their kid dies, it actually helps them financially, doesn't it? Less money, less resources needed, but yet they care anyways, right?
That's individual.
Oh, okay.
Measure.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, moving on. Okay, let's keep going with where Nick's going, I guess. But there's more to this. A little bit more to this. It's just very funny to me because I swear to God, I heard Nick Fuentes talking about like conquering is not a big deal, but I don't want to pay for it. Now maybe Nick's changed, maybe he grew up a little bit, but yeah, this might not be his original idea of things. I hope he thought about it, but it's like, damn, we're like watching you trying to like figure things out as you go instead of like being like a full made fucking man outright. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? All right, let's keep going here. My mouse is broken. All right. There we
And
go.
actually, it does matter for our daily lives. That, to me, that's the next step in the battle.
Yeah, and it's so deceitful.
An actual one cheerleader for Israel. It's people telling you, who cares about Israel? You're the crazy one. Like you talked about that gaslighting, saying we're obsessed with Israel. We need to push back and say, no, it is our concern. It's our empire. It's our country. And actually, it does matter for our daily lives. That, to me, that's the next step in the battle.
Yeah, and it's so deceitful, that kind of like pseudo abdication, because the reality is it isn't just, money being sent for foreign wars. It's that every one of our institutions is undergoing massive radical limitations on the ability of people to express themselves freely, including at our universities that have nothing to do with protests, but what can be taught. All these hate speech codes that conservatives claim to be so opposed to and infuriated by are being expanded radically in order to protect not just Jewish people, but Israel from a wide range of critiques. So this idea of people on the right saying, I'm not on board with Israel either, I just don't care, is so deceitful, because it obscures the fact that our politics are being radically changed underneath our noses by this Israel lobby and by its loyalists in the United States that the Matt Walshes of the world are encouraging to ignore, because he wants to just somehow find this sweet middle ground where he's neither an Israel shill nor somebody who's going against Ben Shapiro and the interests that fund him. And I do think it's vital to make manifest how deceitful and false that is.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, at least, the Matt Walsh kind of ignoring this story, but these guys jumping on that story, is still ignoring the overall, thing itself. It's like, there are so many, events that happen in the world that the U.S. is involved in. It has nothing to do with fucking Israel. All over the fucking place. And yet, we're like, even you guys focusing on this kind of strictly ignores those things from happening in a way. Right? And it's just like, it's kind of sad. So Matt Walsh ignoring things, you guys paying attention to Matt Walsh, but ignoring things. And it's just like a chain reaction of dumb fuckery to me. Truly. I mean, I'm sorry, Nick, but I can notice that your logos of your mug is turned, facing the camera, probably for a reason. Like, I notice these things. It is what it is, guys. It's it's quite a thing. Almost like no one actually takes these things seriously. From, I guess, more so atheistic, journalist dude, Glenn Greenwald, to hyper-Catholic, hyper-Christian, crisis king guy, Nick Fuentes. Either way, you're just getting TV, I think. I don't think you're getting anything real from these people, bro. I think you're fucked either way. It's my personal opinion. Do not take it for word for word. Do your own thoughts. Work on your own thoughts. But for me personally, it's just like, oh God. There's nothing of substance said in this 12-minute clip that Glenn put out. Right? Maybe there's more to the whole interview itself, but these guys on this topic and the way they went about it, not much to me. Of substance, that is. Whatever they say, I've already heard it before, or already thought about it, or considered it. Nothing here. And it's kind of sad. It's very sad. But don't worry, maybe one day you'll make money off of Gaza instead of losing money. But that's up to you. It's up to you. Do you lose or make money off of Gaza? It's up to you, Americans. Yeah, don't look. That child with their limbs blown off, fuck them. Who cares? Will you make a profit or not? That's the real answer here. Sorry, real question. Whatever. There's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. I dare you to. Comment, agree or disagree. I also dare you to. I fucking triple dog dare you. Please check out the description box for the source of this and the what's his name? Rapper? MC Abdul. All will be linked in the description box. So will the Discord that I'm in right now. Please join that if you want to. If you want to argue with people, if you want to show up in voice call, I dare you to. I fucking dare you. Also, yes, donations to charities. If you want to do that, please show up in the fucking and check out the description box if you want to do that. And with all that said, please give this genius, brilliant fucking video a thumbs down. God damn it.
Say you wanna get in, and then you wanna get out. When you get the money to buy yourself a car.